Do we think NB, even though it looks like BN,
Back to front.
do you think NB stands for Nigel Benjamin? No, it doesn't. It stands for that, doesn't it? Just that one. So you can see that. Nelson Brown. There. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Had a good week?
I've had an awesome week
How come?
because it's just been busy. It's been buzzing in the salon.
How busy has it been?
Super busy.
And look at that window out there. Tell me what you can see outside there.
It's super sunny.
That's quite a nice look, that little light pan with the
It's gorgeous,
With
isn't
sunshine
it? Such
floor,
a nice
isn't it?
window, and the river in the background.
isn't it nice?
It's beautiful.
So, yeah, welcome to this week's Facebook Live in the lovely... I think it's quite hot in here. No, I want to ask you, do you think it's quite hot in here, Fiona?
No, it's lovely and cool.
Cool.
Fresh.
Even though outside that window it's the sun shining.
Yes,
So why do you think that is?
because we have amazing air conditioning in here. So
What's-
we're warm in the winter and we're cool in the summer.
And where does it come out of, please?
Do you want me to pan round? Ta-da!
Those units.
Not just one. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually 4 because there's one hiding at reception as well.
Come over here a minute. Oh, Oliver's gone for the big 18 degrees on cooling. 18 degrees. That's a bit giddy because I think maybe 19 or 20 is probably suffice. He's obviously gone for... He's looking for things
He's
to
feeling
get...
the heat. He
he's
does have a
looking-
turtleneck on today though, let's face it.
Yeah, James Bond over there in the corner. Anyway, so last week we let the hair do the talking for a little bit, and I think it really worked, and I thought I would let that happen again. I thought I would just let that happen. And you can maybe get that straight down the mirror. The gorgeous Sarah, and this gorgeous little colour which has got so many things happening in it that we wanted to show it off because of 2 reasons. One, because of this was another entry to the Wella Trend Vision competition by Caitlin Chisholm, who's working behind us. She's just cutting someone's hair. So that was her over there, over yonder. This was her entry, and Sarah was a model on the night, and we wanted to kind of pay a lot more respect to that by just showing you guys that how cool the team are and how progressive the team are, because in certain competitions they have to basically find the model, so the model has to have that look that they're looking to achieve on. Then they need to consult with the model and try and get the model to maybe have the look that's maybe slightly more daring, a bit like Sarah's look here. So all that's all part of the growing cycle of being able to cultivate the right model. She's got to be tall like Sarah is. We'll show you later because she's going to stand up in a minute or two. And then also perform the haircut and the colouring service, so that on the day when they go to the competition, you can stand up, blow dry the hair and let it move. So if we get a bit closer to the head, you can see that there's these really cool little pieces of colour. Now, believe it or not, Sarah's actually had her hair coloured again since then, and these little ingots, I'm calling them, of colour, they were actually aqua blue and sort of faded for the actual event. So we've tweaked them since then, and because Caitlin Chisholm's been so busy, the gorgeous Lisa Smith did that for us just the other day. Yeah, just a nose fine. And Sarah fancied it not being blue for a little bit and just changing it up and just going for something slightly cooler and slightly more white stroke grey, and it really works with the shape. And you can see how well the comb just kind of glides through the hair and how I can change it just by kicking it around, and that means that when she does it herself, she can also do the same thing. And it's a combination of 3 classic techniques here. So we've got graduation in the back, which is this part here, which we talked about last week, didn't we, Fiona?
We sure did.
Because you nailed it. So what do you call these bits?
The disconnection.
Disconnection.
Does that mean I get gold star this week?
Yeah. We'll remove the brown one and I'll put the gold one in its place. Now here, can you tell me what we've got here, Fiona? Here, just right here, just above the disconnection. Can you
where?
Look, people can just see it there. So if I comb it down, you can maybe just see how that sits. What Caitlin did was she came in with the front, okay, and she came back with the fringe here, and then she cut an overhang area on top of the hair. So there's actually a little square that you can just see here. Maybe on the other side you can see it a bit clearer. If I comb it down, you can see that actually, if I just comb it down, beautiful haircut. You can just see how the mat follows the line of the ear and then down behind the ear to kind of almost emphasize this beautiful disconnection. Now the back and the front don't connect. They don't, and that's meant to be the case, so that the hair's got an element of floatiness to it. We wanted it to look obviously long at the front, but at the same time not just be a kind of generic connection, so that again the shape is unique to the individual. That's what we're trying to achieve here. And Sarah's got a great jawline, and we just wanted this to lap around the jaw, which has happened. Look, you can see that's just kissing. Sorry. What would happen, I wonder? No, just sorry. Just get back to the real world. Are you warm? A wee bit.
I'll turn the aircon down a bit more.
Okay, so here as well, if you look straight down the mirror, you can just see what I'm talking about. There's this slightly fuller area just there, and that is where the disconnection starts. Now, where the shape then comes to the front, you can see here we've got these areas, and it just comes to a little point slightly in the front there. So when Sarah has her morning hair, which she's often talks about, for some reason the crown's always really backcombed. Don't know why. It's always like a big massive ball of like backcombed hair here. I don't know why. Only joking. Sorry. Yeah, because obviously, in the mornings we've got things to do and people to organise. So we're talking about how it is in the morning when she gets up, and she just gets up and rocks it. She just goes into the wild woman from Borneo kind of effects. And these areas, see, I love it when you can see that move.
It is a gorgeous cut.
Isn't it? I mean, it really, a massive respect to Caitlin for achieving this. And it's tough going, it doesn't naturally just happen. I just want to show you, you can see the line there, look, see it?
Oh, it's beautiful.
See that lovely little swish? It just allows the cut and the colour to work in complete harmony.
With Sarah's gorgeous features.
Isn't it? And that's what it's about. It's about making this human look better. So we design the shape so that we can get the most out of her looks, and she's got great cheekbones, so anything that's going to open up the face shape is a good thing. And it really just makes that line look...
I love how you see that the peak of colour.
Isn't it gorge? I think it is.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I just realised something.
What's that?
Your hair is black and white, and I'm wearing black and white. And the ceiling's black and white. Oh, that's 3. Anything else black and white that I need to know about? Anything? Of course. So, yeah. I'm just going to take a minute or two just to move this here to allow it to, and we would class this as like a mid-length hairstyle. We would class it as a hairstyle that's still that's soft because the fringe moves quite nicely, but the colour just has such a pop-tastic feel to it. It just really opens up the shape and stops it looking really solid. That's the idea.
And it's another one of those cuts where you can change it up depending on how you're feeling.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. And the thing is, this is an example, not on everybody, but this is an example of what we do here in the salon. We don't try and compromise the hair. We try and make the hair, the lastability and the quality of it look correct. And you can see that I'm using a comb to comb this around. So what have I used to achieve it? Right. Wow. The wonderful product at the moment that I cannot stop using is Shine and Smoothing Oil. Now, I might have spoke about this before. This is a supercharged, virtually natural oil with a combination of multi-oils in there. One is argan, but also it's complicated because it doesn't absorb into the hair and make it saturated. It gives the hair polish and shine. We use this on curly hair and it's amazing because people would associate curly hair with being like drier and fluffier. So if you use a little bit of this on it, it makes it shiny and smooth, just like it says on bottle. So I used a little bit of this. I ran it through the hair, just gently. I didn't just blob it onto the top of her hair. I massaged it through, and obviously where the hair has been lightened, the hair's a little bit more thirsty, so we do make sure that these areas get their own little bit of product on there, which doesn't mean that we get a blob and slap it on. What we do is we will apply it throughout the head, and then any little areas we'll just finish by just touching them there, and we give the hair a little pull through when it's wet, and then that means when we come to dry it with the wrap dry, it just naturally falls in, and the Shine and Smoothing Oil does its job. Then you asked some questions about the dry, didn't you?
I did, yes.
What questions were you asking, Nelson?
I asked you what technique you were using to dry it.
Right.
Because you were brushing the hair in different directions.
Yeah, and there is a bit of a myth to this because, I was very fortunate to be trained by the genius Vidal Sassoon, and he taught me so much about hair, balance, the eye, the development in how the hair should look. And it's really important that we transfer that onto the client. When you've got a shape that's true and well cut and balanced and it's been well thought about and planned, the blow dry should be super easy. So in short, this is how a wrap dry works. We get a flat brush like so. Okay. Now the head is round. So what we do is we get the hair itself and we brush it around the skull like so. And as we brush it around, the dryer follows the airflow like so. Now the more that we do that, the more that the hair naturally turns under. And so if the shape's cut correctly, like this is, then it will just dry in perfectly fine. And it gives it a much nicer turned under feel to the finish of the hair. So in short, we use the curvature of the skull to give the hair the turned under finish. So Vidal kind of realised that was the case back in the 60s when women used to sit under hair dryers for 3 hours, and prior to that they'd have their hair wrapped around their skull, so that the curvature of the head was used to bend the curly hair so that it would go straight. They were then dried under the dryer for 3 hours, and then they'd come out, brushed out, and they had straight hair. So what Vidal did is just fast forwarded that technique and used it with a hair dryer. So the technique is called wrap drying. You need to use a flat brush like so, and you need to control the hair, the airflow like so. So you can see The dryer goes with the brush. Watch the hair, the little bits of hair that actually are dry. They get kicked under like so. But the bottom line is that the shape has to go in unison. Otherwise, if the shape's not accurately cut, it won't do that. So you can see if I just push the hair around the head with the brush and keep the hair under control, what you can see is that the hair never looks as if it's misplaced. It always looks as if it's under the right control. It's never going to be fluffy. Isn't that right, Sarah? Yes. Like Indian food.
Love it.
Love it. Would you go for something a bit spicier normally, or are you sort of medium?
Depends on the feta.
Mild, medium, or hot?
Medium.
Medium. With rice? Awesome. Any questions, Fiona?
No, I think I asked you all my questions before we started.
Have you got a question for Nelson, Sarah, at all? Look at that! Pooh! That needs to be right down the middle, Fiona. So you can see you get the little swish of colour and this beautiful kick that comes up. It just really opens up the eye. I love that. And it means that when she's wearing it, she can achieve these looks, because all it is combed and just pushed up with a finger. It's not your average type of look. However, when things are tailor-made to suit the individual, then that can work really nicely. So, we're going to continue this idea of, can you stand up for me, gorgeous? We're going to continue this idea of showing you models that my team have done. And we've got one more next week. I've got one more next week? Yes! We're hoping to do some braiding with the wonderful Anna Lee Jackson, if there's enough time. Because she created this look which was very, you'll see it. So we'll maybe look to do that next week, Fiona, shall we?
Yes, let's do
Can
that.
you schedule that in?
Absolutely.
So, Sarah, come over here and stand with me.
She's quite gorgeous.
Doesn't she? Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Facebook Live. Bye.